Well, members of the Senate are looking to put more pressure on China over the value of its currency. A new bill unveiled yesterday calls for tough trade sanctions on China if it doesn't raise the value of the yuan against the dollar. New York Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer saying, quote, "We're sending a message to the Chinese government. If you refuse to play by the same rules as everyone else, we will force you to," end quote. Speaking with Fox Business's Peter Barnes yesterday, Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner weighed in on this. He says the decision on whether to raise the value of this currency is in China's hands.
I think China will decide ultimately it's in their interest to move. I think it's important they do that, but I think ultimately they're going to decide over time it's in their interest to move to a more flexible exchange rate.
Well, Secretary Geithner would not say if the Obama administration supports this bill, obviously very political at this time. A senior Chinese diplomat, though, is calling or saying calls by Congress against China over its currency are ill-founded. That's just new into us this morning. So this has a potential to be a powder keg, to say the least. Doug Flynn of Flynn Zito Capital Management is back with us as well. I mean, what do you make of this back and forth? And is anything really going to happen here?
With the currency?
Yeah. Do you think the United States, will this legislation go through, this pressure, from Congress that says if you do not change the value of your currency, which we're saying is undervalued, we're just going to impose sanctions on you?
Yeah, I think they feel that China's at an unfair advantage because of the currency and needs to be adjusted.
Is it?
You could argue that because they're artificially keeping it where it is versus where it should float and make us more competitive, which would then help us come out of this a little bit quicker.
With jobs and the like, especially in the manufacturing sector.
Absolutely. But, I don't know. China's been pretty clear on the fact that no one is going to manipulate them. So, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know if we're going to have the guts on this side to actually call them on it and make them do it.
Why not?
I just don't know if the outcome of that would be beneficial in terms of, bothering your biggest, one of your biggest.
You think the stakes are too high?
I think the stakes are high. I think they're going to play that game of chicken. We'll see who blinks. I don't know.
Well, the IMF, the head of the IMF is coming out this morning saying that the yuan is undervalued. He's saying it. We haven't officially said that as a nation at this time. Strauss-Kahn also saying that it's wrong to believe that all problems are going to be solved if we solve any sort of manipulation with currencies.
That's true.
What are your thoughts?
I think that, like they did last time, we wanted them to move a certain amount, and they moved a little bit. I think that's what likely is to happen. They'll say they're not going to do anything, and then lo and behold, they'll move a little bit, not anywhere near where we would want them to, as a token gesture. Because for the longest time, if you remember, they didn't want to move at all.
Well, Geithner says they're going to have to. I mean, it's going to be in the best interest for their economy as well. To help their currency move up in value a little bit, in part to help slow down their economy, which is, as some say, overheating.
There's a lot of things that China's going to have to do as it starts to play in the big leagues, and I think they're coming to learn that and deal with it, and we all, as the rest of the world, have to recognize that too, that they're not going to change overnight. They're going to have to keep making these changes, and that's just one of a list of things that they're going to have to do.
Why do you think this is happening now? We have a lot of issues on the table. I mean, why do you think this is coming up?
Well, I think that the administration just wants to do everything that they can.
Well, this is coming from Senator Schumer. It seems like it's coming during a time that's already a little overwhelmed by legislation, including the financial regulation reform, health care, jobs bill.
Exactly.
Is this the right time to bring this up, though?
Well, yes, it is, because I think that it probably does need to be adjusted. We're for the free market, so we'd like it to just float freely. That's not going to happen. So I think it's the right time. But you could argue whether or not throwing this on top of the pile of everything else that they're doing makes any sense. Real
quick here, as an investment manager, what way do you play China? Do you trust the information coming out of the country? Some are very skeptical. How do you even look at that huge economy that's out there?
Yeah, what's interesting is China is still considered an emerging market, but emerging markets are many other countries too. And so we like to play more of the emerging markets, not necessarily China directly.
Why?
Just because I think that you've had a good run there. I'm not saying run away from it. I just think that don't just look at a China-only fund. You want to look at maybe an emerging markets fund that has a little more diversification and go into other areas around the globe in terms of South America, even Canada. You look at countries like that; they aren't even in the international index of the IFA. And people don't realize, they think that that index is everything. You're missing a lot of different countries there. So you want to have some emerging markets, not just China.
Don't have tunnel vision. All right. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. You can catch Doug as well on our internet show, foxbusiness.com live in just a moment. Sandra Smith is also going to join you on FoxBusiness.com Live and shepherd you through the next couple hours here.
Yeah, going to be a busy day, so nice to be here. Thanks,
Happy
Jenna.
St. Patrick's Day.
And
by the
happy
way.
St. Pat. You remembered your green, I did not, however. Anyway, next year. Well, turning